Hey, what's up, guys? This is Game Strategy TV on YouTube, and I'm doing Legend of Korra Season 2, Episode 3 review. Yeah, I know. I see that you guys enjoyed my previous lengthy review that somehow turned from... I really wanted to do like a 7-minute thing, it turned into like 35 minutes. I apologize for that. Yeah, that won't happen again. 35 minutes for 2 episodes? I don't know. That was kind of long. Sorry about that. However, if you enjoy, I guess, me ranting on and talking, I guess like and comment below if you want me to keep on talking, because I think I'm just going to keep these pretty short. And I think I kind of overdid it with the whole summarizing and overview. I'm just going to do reviews now. No reason to make a whole overview because you've seen the episode, you're here for a review. So anyway, on to episode 3, Civil War, part 1. And I guess you could say in my overview / review in my previous episode, I said that there probably wouldn't be a civil war, but stupid me, I didn't check the titles for the next episodes, which were labeled Civil War Part 1 and Part 2. So that was a dumb moment for me. But I cleared that up. I put in a comment, like a little bubble thingy that pops up. Annotation. Anyway, so the thing with episode 3, Civil War Part 1, is it's kind of like a dual episode. It's not always talking or focused on the issue in the Water Tribe, the South Water Tribe. I actually find the moments when it switches in to the Bumi, Kaya, and Tenzin relationship the most interesting, actually. However, the dynamic kind of way that the South, this whole thing is going on within the Southern Water Tribe is really kind of, evolved. This is technically a kids show, but it's got a lot of really deep elements to it. Like, anyway, I'm getting off track. So let me just get this through. So, Korra opened up the portal, and her uncle Unalak is like, okay, yeah, I brought in all my troops because we gotta lock down the South, and we're gonna have to reunite them and the North and the South through, I guess, force, because the South isn't gonna want any of this to happen. And essentially, Unalak, comment if you agree with me, is using Korra. I mean, it's plain and obvious. Korra is just being used, and the sad part is she doesn't even realize it. It's pretty bad. She doesn't even realize she's being used because she's been used her whole life as a puppet. I mean, honestly, she's never had self-control over her own matters. She's always had someone telling her what to do. And this is why I believe she falls for Unalak's, yeah, I believe in you kind of speech. And yeah, I don't think this is going to turn out well for her. Anyways, okay, so then it switches over to parts where Tenzin's relaxing in the Southern Air Temple, or whatever air temple he's at. I think it's a Southern Air Temple. And he's relaxing, and we find out that Tenzin is actually like the favored one out of the three. Of the three children that Aang had, he, I guess, was like the I guess you could almost say the favored one. I honestly feel bad for Kaya and Bumi. It's like that's just not fair. I feel I just feel really bad for Bumi because he's got no bending, and he's the oldest, and yet it seems like out of the two who were neglected, Kaya and Bumi, I feel like Bumi has it the hardest because he has none of the powers, and he's also like a forgotten one. I mean, even though he's got that great personality of his, which is always nice to have. It's just, it's his backstory. I would like to hear a little more. It's just so interesting. I mean, who else wants to know how things went in the Aang household? Like, Korra as an adult and Aang as an adult, and you have Kaya, Bumi, and Tenzin as children. And to see how Aang interacts with his own children. Because, don't get me wrong, I mean, Aang was, the model. He was like a model of, like, optimism and fair treatment with everyone in Avatar: The Last Airbender. But it almost seems as if Aang became more humanized in between series. When I mean humanized, I mean he began to take on characteristics that weren't, like him before. In a sense that he became human. He treated Tenzin, it seems to be that he treated Tenzin a lot more because he was an airbender. He favored him much more. And to see Aang, our favorite character, Avatar, become someone who could favor one person over another is kind of weird. I'm digressing a lot. Anyway, so we find out that Iki has run off because Jinora and Milo have teased her a little too much for whatever reason. So Kaya, Bumi, and Tenzin run off to find Iki and kind of track her down. And, then goes back over to Korra's situation. And it turns out basically Varric is our favorite business person who's got a great personality, is funding this sort of rebellion against the North, and he's been planning it for a while. And the South wants the North out, and the North wants the South to be obedient little children. So you got this whole thing just collapsing upon itself. It's just horrible. And what we have is, at one point there was like a soldiers telling some rascally children to get lost, and some Southern Water Tribe men are like, yo, why don't you pick up on someone your own size? And the fight breaks out. Korra interrupts it, and it seems it takes sides with the Northern men. The Southern Water Tribe men get really ticked off and say, why are you taking sides with them? But she's really trying to be neutral. Her father comes in and kind of settles the debate and whatnot, and the whole thing is just collapsing upon itself. So at one point, Korra finds out that her father was part of this plan to take out, to start this rebellion, and they eventually, Korra hears about this, and later that night goes to talk to Unalaq. And Unalaq is being kidnapped by these kind of like ninja assassin Southern Water Tribe guys. So she takes them out and believes to be the one who's carrying her uncle to be her father. Unmasks him and finds that it's not. And, you can see that she's surprised that, wow, my dad isn't, this dude who's, stealing my uncle. So it cuts over to a scene where the men are being taken away, and she runs over to her family, and she's already found out that her mother knew about the whole idea that that her father and Tenzin had agreed to kind of seclude her from the rest of the world. But she runs home and finds her father eating dinner, and hugs him and says, "I'm so happy you weren't part of this." And you can really, this is the first time I feel like Korra's really showing a little bit of emotion. Other times when she's crying, it's just more like, oh God, she's crying. But this time, I'm in the first season, in the first, I guess, episode of Korra, it was really hard to relate with Korra because, I don't know, she doesn't have as much character as I would like. Not enough character development, if I may say so myself. However, no, that's fine. They got 2 more seasons to do this. I think 2 or 3. I can't remember how many seasons they're doing. But in all honesty, this is like Avatar: The Last Airbender season 1. I didn't like Aang initially. However, season 2, I warmed up and I loved the kid, and I just couldn't get enough Avatar after season 1. Season 2 and season 3 were just awesome. That's when I liked Aang. But if you're saying that, no, John, this is season 2. Korra should have more development. Well, season 1 was more of like a, in my opinion, more like a backstory of what happened, what's going on now, because Korra was just supposed to be designed as a one-time thing, just one season, but Nickelodeon was like, oh, we can make a lot of money off of this because a lot of people seem to be tuning in. So we'll give you 2 or 3 more seasons to do. So I feel like the creative artists and the directors and the writers are like, okay, we got a lot more time. We can basically start over in a sense, we have a little foundational character, and now we can start on character development because we have so many more episodes and time to develop our character more properly. And I'm just hoping that Korra finally gets a little more character development and doesn't stay so stiff and kind of singular in her character development, because it's getting dry and boring. When I mean dry and boring, this is her model. Do rash things, fuck up, learn from those rash things. Next episode, does rash things, fucks up, learns from it, and the cycle repeats. And I mean, it's like, really, guys, really? Can we just like, can she not learn? Is she just like have like amnesia or something? Like, shit, what happened yesterday?
I'll be really sad when you have to leave. It's been really great getting to know you. Really.
But you will be coming with me to the north. There we will live the rest of our lives together in icy bliss. Foolish Bolin.
Mako! I'm so happy to see you.
Fuck. Anyway. So, you got, she runs, back on topic. She's crying to her dad, like, oh, I'm so happy you were part of this. And right before she runs in, she tells her uncle, this is before she runs to her father, she tells him, you gotta let these men have, who try to kidnap you, have stand on trial for their crimes, Instead of being like a monarch, you can kind of show that you're a just person. You're trying to take care of our people and treat them the right way. So fast forward, back into the tent where Korra's crying and telling her father that, oh, I'm so glad you weren't there. And her father's like, of course I wouldn't be there. I mean, we have our disagreements, but however, I would never do something to that like that to my brothers. We're family. And guess what? 2 seconds later, Unalaq walks in and goes, yeah, I'm gonna shift the blame on you, bro, and you're going on trial. And Korra's like, say what? She doesn't actually say this, but you can see her in her look like, you lying, conniving son of a bitch. You took exactly what I said and turned it against me. I hate Unalaq now. Korra and me. I hate Unalaq. This guy's an asshole. So then, another part, we go over to Tenzin's situation and find that Tenzin has this artificial belief that Tenzin, Kaya, and Bumi had this perfect childhood. But then Kaya and Bumi were like, hey, Tenzin, time to wake up, bro. You're the favored one. We didn't have a perfect childhood. And, okay, you think you have to act like the serious one around because Bumi has never matured. And, Tenzin says, Kaya, you were traveling the whole world trying to find yourself. And then when dad dies, you come home and finally take care of mom. And, you know, they're arguing back and forth. And I honestly feel like that's where a lot of the story is focused on. And I really like it. Even though I would like to see more of Korra. This whole dynamic between Tenzin and his, you know, his siblings and his brother and sister is a great dynamic. I love it. And it really gets to show you more facets of what's going on in this world. And lots of new locations. They're making up for that bullshit in season 1. Season 1, you know, here's the pitch, guys. We're only going to be Republic City the whole time. You're going to see the same fucking buildings the whole time. And the viewers are like, if I'm going to see this city one more time, I'm going to freaking throw my TV out the window. I'm sick and tired of Republic City. Please show me something new. Thank you.
You guys gotta save me.
I thought you were breaking up with her. What happened to ripping off the leech?
I tried, but anytime I bring up the subject, she threatens to freeze me in a block of ice and feed me to dolphin piranhas.
So it was more like you tugged at the leech.
Yes, over and over and over, but it won't come off. Why didn't you warn me your cousin had the power to reach into my heart and crush my soul with her bare hands?
'Cause I thought it was pretty obvious.
No, not to me it wasn't. I'm very bad at reading people. You should know that by now.
And what do we get? We get in season 2. We get dynamic, you know, the Southern Water Tribe, different aspects of it. We see ice formations everywhere. It's fantastic. And we see the Southern Air Temple kind of reborn in this blooming grass and everything. But then you have hidden within these spectacular sceneries is political upset and families being torn apart. And I hope it's not just me, but who else is thinking this? You know, it's kind of like a Game of Thrones thing. Sorry to compare the two episodes, but the way that Unalak is manipulating everyone is like, this guy's like freaking Joffrey cutting off Ned's head, for crying out loud, kind of bullshit. You know, it's not as drastic, but it's kind of like, when did Avatar become so mature in the fact that we have people manipulating all this? I know Azula was kind of like that, but that was kind of expected. And we kind of had time to see that Azula was this pure evil, conniving person. But Unalak straight out the door, oh, I'm a nice guy, I can stop the spirits. But within one episode later, you see this guy is pure evil. Well, maybe not pure evil, but purely manipulative. But he lacks in strength. The guy's a freaking... God. Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. Okay. Also, another thing I want to say is, I'm loving this whole thing with Bolin being trapped with Desna and Eska. He's like, Mako, you gotta get me out of here. I can't stand it with them any longer. They're gonna bring me to the Northern Water Tribe and gonna, you know, being icy cold bliss with them for the rest of my life. I don't want this. Please, Mako, help me. And Mako's like, man, you can just gotta, they're like blood sucking leeches. You gotta rip them off. Just tell them straight up. So then at one point, you know, they're eating dinner and Bolin's like, Mako, it's not working. He goes, what did you do? You know what? And then Bolin's like, yeah, I tried. And she said, if I tried anything like that, she would freeze and lock me up in a cold, icy tomb for the rest of my life or something like that. And Mako's like, oh, God, you tugged, but you didn't yank it off. And Bolin's like, yes, I tugged and tugged and tugged, but I couldn't get them off. And oh my God, the whole thing's hilarious. And it's just, I'm loving this season much more than season 2. Season 1. Correction, season 1. And I think the new thing is going to be everything changed when the Northern Water Tribes attacked. That's going to be like that new thing, like instead of going everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked, it's going to be everything changed when the Northern Water Tribe attacked. It always seems that the Southern Water Tribe is getting screwed up the ass. in every case. Okay, let's do the review right now. 1, I am liking where the story is heading, so that's a positive. 2, Korra seems to be getting a little more character development. Finally, like it. Scenery, I like it. The Tenzin, Kaya, and Bumi aspect, I really like it. The way they're talking, I just love it. So overall, I would give this episode a 9.5 because, you know, this is going to be a 2-part series, so I'll see how this concludes. So I'm going to leave this open-ended as a 9.5. I don't know if it could go up to a 10. It can go down to a 9 or worse than that. But this is an open-ended 9.5 because this is a 2-part, episode, Civil War Part 1 and 2. But from what I can tell, I really like that episode. You know, I really do. It's just got so many possibilities, and I've only seen it once. I would love to see the episode again, which is probably already out on the internet. If you want to watch it again, just go on the internet, type in the Legend of Korra Season 2, Episode 3, and it just pops up. I'm losing track again. So, anyway, positive review. If you haven't seen it already, go watch it, because I have a feeling that Episode 4 is going to have some crazy ending. And I have a feeling that the warplanes are going to make a hit. So, I'll see you guys later, and stay tuned for Episode 5. Thanks for watching, guys.